Today is turnaround day, the end of our transatlantic. Hello everybody, Joyce here with the Traveling Gamblers, and I am here with John. Hello John.
Hello Joyce.
And since we are staying on for a back-to-back, we are in the Port of Civitavecchia. Well, we're not in the Port of Civitavecchia because we're staying on a back-to-back, but because we are on a back-to-back, we had the day in Civitavecchia and then back on the ship for embarkation day for the next leg, which is an 11-night Greece, Italy, and Turkey. Whew, we're going to Turkey. So exciting.
I can't wait for that. That's
so exciting.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay, so today we got up and we had to change cabins. So we went from an aqua cabin for 15 nights
to an infinite veranda.
Yes. So we went from deck 9 to deck 8. We are midship and it is an absolutely lovely cabin. We love our location.
Mm-hmm. And there's not much difference between the two cabins.
There really isn't.
You know?
There really isn't. That's a video that I would like to do.
Okay.
The difference between a veranda, an infinite veranda, concierge, and aqua. We got up. We had to be out of our cabin by 7:30. You leave all of your stuff in. For those of you that don't know what you do during the process, you leave your hanging clothes hanging. You put everything else that's in your cabin in your suitcases and you leave them in your cabin, and your stateroom attendant will come and move everything from one cabin to the next. We had to leave the cabin by 7:30, and what did we do?
And we went down to cab and met with KK and Roy, and we hung out for a little while, and then we had to do the...
Well, we also spent some time with... We all just kind of happened to meet up. Right. Suzanne and Bob and Talmadge and Richard and Roy and KK and us, and then we saw John and Kimmy, and so it was a nice little group. And then
that was very interesting because in the States, when you do the back-to-back, you have to get off the ship and go through the terminal and come back on again. Here, we just had to go to the Cyprus restaurant and just a quick line and just exchange your cards, and then we're allowed to get off the ship. If you don't want to wait to do that, you could use the transit pass, which you're going to go over in a future video maybe, or...
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think I've already done that one.
Okay, all right.
Turnaround.
So it was very easy. It took
we did that during our 28 days on the Ascent.
Right.
But I guess I could do
the
back-to-back process as a separate video for people that search that.
Yeah, we did discuss it. You're right.
Right. But again, for people that didn't watch our 28 days, I could do a separate video for people that search the back-to-back process.
Or
anyway,
they could watch the 28 days. Anyway.
They don't know that that's in the 28 days, though.
Right. I'm just joking around.
Okay.
It's unedited, remember?
Yes. We purposely waited because we didn't have an excursion. We were doing just kind of our own thing in Civitavecchia because we have been there before, and it's just a little town. It's very quaint, and I absolutely recommend, if you don't have anything to do, you don't have any excursions planned, and you're doing a back-to-back, to absolutely just go off and walk around, spend a couple hours, and that's exactly what we did. Right. So we waited because Roy was going to the airport.
Right.
So we waited and we walked off with him. So here's a little clip of us all walking off the ship together. And when we got outside, there was a line for a shuttle to go to the train station, which is what Roy did because he was going to the airport. So for those of you that are going to get off in Civitavecchia, know that when you go through the terminal, just outside the terminal doors where everybody exits, there was a shuttle to go to the train station, and you could then take the train to the airport. Now, he didn't have a flight until later that afternoon, or he had a flight later that afternoon, so he was okay for taking the train because this was 9 o'clock in the morning. And I think the train was €6 to go to The shuttle was €6 to go to the train station. But then for those of you that are staying in Civitavecchia for the day, let's see, there is a picture of us on the shuttle.
A free shuttle. Takes you about 10 minutes to get to the central area.
They take you to outside of the terminal.
And you can walk around there, and there's restaurants and stores.
So when you take the shuttle, we were under the understanding that you weren't allowed to walk through the port, but we saw several people doing it. But it's a long walk.
Yes.
It's a good 10 to 15 minute shuttle ride. So I would not recommend walking through the port to go to the town of Civitavecchia, but it takes you, the shuttle, like I said, it's free. It takes you right to the edge of the port. And this is us coming off the shuttle and walking through, and this is us walking out across the street and into the town of Civitavecchia. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of feel of what it was actually like to get to the town. And that is the town. Once we got there, we just walked around a little bit.
We were going to do the walking tour, but they had some construction there, so
that was later in the day, though. So what did we do when we got off?
Do you
remember?
Yes, we were looking for a patch.
We were, and of course we found one.
Right, and we walked up to the grocery store because you wanted to get some.
Yes. So first,
balsamic.
here's a photo of a pastry shop that we passed along the way that we had eaten at once before, and then we walked a little bit further. There were some nice shops along the way on both sides of the road, nice wide sidewalks to walk on, and then we came upon the grocery store. Right,
and what you were looking for, wasn't really there, I think, this time. There was some balsamic vinegar, but I don't think it was what you got the last time.
It was. I just opted to not buy it because we have other ports.
Right, and there were cookies. It was such a great price.
We ended up not getting anything.
Right.
We ended up not getting anything. But if you would like to buy anything from a grocery store, so the last time we were here, I bought these little biscuits where on the one side it was like a tea biscuit, and then on the back of it was a little layer of milk chocolate, and it was a big package of them for €125. And they didn't have them this time. So here's a photo of the grocery store. It's just a cute little local grocery store. I also bought some balsamic vinegar and olive oil when I was there.
The last time.
And I just wasn't in the mood really to buy it.
So this grocery store is across from the church.
Right, and here's a picture of the church. You can't miss it. It's just a little town.
Yeah.
It's about a 10-minute walk from where the shuttle drops you off. And we went into the church across the street, and here's a couple photos of the inside of the church. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't think I've ever been in a church in Europe that wasn't beautiful.
Yes.
Then when we left the church, when we came out of the church, we went down the steps and we made a right up that side alley, and we walked up into a neighborhood.
Yeah, and that's where all of the locals shop. It's a market.
A little farmer's market.
Right.
With fruits and vegetables.
You
And
did
look
buy
at
something
all of
there.
that. Look at all of that. That's incredible.
Bought a little purse there, didn't you?
Yeah, well, not here. This was the food
right.
market. This is the fruits and vegetables. And I just wanted to show you guys all the different things. I mean, you could get a piece of fruit and eat it. You certainly can't bring any of it back on the ship. And then this was these are all locals. This is their little neighborhood local shops. This is where it was a little butcher shop.
Yes.
With all the meats and cheeses. Oh, I do wish that we had bought some of that cheese.
Well,
and we could have just put it in the refrigerator.
We're going to be in so many places. It'll be good.
But we're not going to be back in Italy until the end of this trip, the end of this cruise.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we could have had it in the.
Yes, we could have.
I mean, yes, they have cheese on the ship and they have plenty of food on the ship, but not this cheese. So we should have gotten that. We could have had a little nighttime snack with some grapes and apples and cheese and maybe a little wine. Then they had a little
like a flea market type
Mhm.
of thing. Yes, where they had little
Yeah.
things to buy.
And that's actually where I bought something. I don't know if I can get it off the hook from here. I can't. It's a little gold little purse, like for your cell phone. It was €8. Just something to wear at night. I have a black one, but I didn't have a light colored one. Just something to wear when I go to dinner. And they were selling all sorts of things, underwear and shorts and t-shirts and sandals and
European plugs.
Oh, did they? I didn't see those.
It was it was.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. All sorts of things, and you could negotiate with them. And then this was a market that was across the street, and I think it was a fish market because we went inside, and oh boy, did it stink! It was a fish and butcher, meats, and I zoomed in on the meats, but oh my goodness, but it was stinky. We had to leave. And we went back to that same pastry shop, and we had decided to have lunch there.
Right.
So it was me, John, and KK. And we started out with John and Kimmy. We met them. We ran into them in Cafe Obaccio, and we got off together. And then after we went in the church, they went their separate way. And these are so here's a little picture of the inside of the cafe. And we ordered 2 things for us to share.
Yeah, the lasagna. I think that was one of the best lasagnas I've ever had.
It was delicious.
Really.
The pasta's different.
Yeah, it was. The edges were a little hard.
Well, no, but the pasta in Italy is different.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more.
Said it was doughy.
It's hard to explain. It's made with a different kind of wheat, I believe. Then in the background there, you can see that I had a latte, and
that is what kind of pizza was that?
A margarita
pizza.
Yeah, it didn't have any basil on it, which was weird.
But it was still. It
was really good. It was really good. We ended up leaving a piece of it. I had 1, and you guys each had 2. And then we walked back. We tried to do the little walking tour, which is like a 30-minute walking tour on Voice Map, which I have recommended to you guys before.
But we almost forgot the patch, so we picked up the patch on. Do you have the patch?
Yeah, it's over there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And you figured out the best way to ask for a patch in these foreign countries is to bring a patch with you and say,
"Do you have one of these for this town?"
Because
most people don't know what I mean when I say a patch.
Yeah, a fabric
they say
patch.
Fabric patch, embroidered patch, something to put on your clothes, and they don't know what I'm talking about. Even in the Caribbean, they're not sure what I'm talking about. They want to show me stickers or magnets. And then this is what the line looked like coming back to go get on the shuttle. There was no line at all.
And that's because it was turnaround day. Basically, it wasn't like a regular.
There were about 350 back-to-back guests, which is a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot for the normal back-to-backs. But it was a transatlantic, so you figure you're going to have more people that are going to say, well, I'm already there. I'm going to stay in Europe and maybe do another cruise or some land stuff. So we just walked up, and there were shuttles. There's the Port of Civitavecchia. And there were the shuttle buses were right there. And it was for all the ships. There were like 4 ships in port that day.
Right.
And they just stopped at each one. The driver announced which ship it was for, and you got off. It was a complimentary shuttle. And that was it for our day.
Right.
We were back, and actually, do you remember what happened? You don't? I didn't feel good.
Oh, yeah, right.
My stomach was churning.
You think it was the coffee, right?
So the conclusion that I came to was that between the cheese and the lasagna, the cheese on the pizza, which was really, really delicious, and the coffee was very strong coffee. If you saw in that picture how dark it was, I put extra cream, like that much into it. It was almost black, but it was a latte. So a latte has a lot of milk in it. And even as a latte, when they served it to me initially, it was like dark brown. So I asked for some extra milk or extra cream. They brought me some extra steamed cream. I put like that much more in it, and it was still that dark brown. I think it was just too much on my stomach because that was the first thing that I had that day. Actually, I did have a hard-boiled egg in the morning, but I felt nauseous. I didn't actually end up getting sick, but I felt nauseous. So when we came back to the cabin, our luggage was here, and I started to unpack a little bit, and I just couldn't do it. And I laid down, and for the first time in a very long time, I took a nap.
Yeah, I think part of it was we were 6 hours now at that point.
I really don't think that was it at all.
No? Okay.
Because I felt fine the other days.
Okay.
I think it was just the coffee and the cheese. It was a lot
Okay.
on an empty stomach.
And more than you usually eat.
Way more than I usually eat.
Right.
And I laid down and I took a nap for a couple hours, and I woke up about 6. We were delayed in leaving because it was turnaround day. We had a lot of things to load, or the ship had a lot of things to load up for supplies for this 11-day trip. And so when I woke up,
I'm trying to remember. Did we go to the casino after that, or we have to
you went up to the buffet.
Oh yeah,
because I wasn't feeling well.
I went up to the buffet, but I actually took a nap also
Mm-hmm.
because I was exhausted.
So John went up to the buffet. I unpacked some of my stuff,
But
and then you brought me.
Yeah, they had turkey, and I know
I asked him to bring me some white rice,
Mm-hmm.
just to help settle my stomach a little bit, and they also had fresh roasted turkey. So
I
he brought
always
me a
loved
piece
the
of turkey.
turkey night.
So I think the white meat protein, I sipped on a ginger ale and the white rice, and all of that worked really well. In an hour, I was feeling fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah. And then
what
we
did?
we decided it was a free play day in the casino.
Normally, as of late, we have been waiting and not playing the first night. The casino has been really, really quiet for the crossing, and tonight it was really, really quiet as well. And we played for a very long time, and we had an incredible end of the night.
Yes, it
was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Here's just a quick video piece of John getting the $1,000 maxed out manger on Jewel of the Dragon, the same machine that he won the grand on, the 22,000.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, so that was great. And we went through all our free play on Firelink, and then we moved over here to Jewel of the Dragon, and we
killed it after we were losing for a while, and
none of our own money.
Right. Yeah,
just the money from our free play.
And then things turned around. And
Holy mackerel! The last hour and a half.
It's like 2 o'clock in the morning by that
It was
time.
later
Right?
than that. It was 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
well, by
moved
the
it.
time it started to turn around,
Right. Yeah.
it turned around, and both of our machines were on fire, and we ended up walking out of the casino with a lot of money. Oh, it was quite. We had 4 jackpot hand pays. It was quite crazy, and we are keeping that money, and we are taking it home with us.
Right.
So we are talking to them about possibly doing a wire of it, because we can, because we don't want to take that money with us, that we carry that cash around with us and travel with that cash. So we are going to wire it back home to our bank. And that does it for turnaround day and our day in Civitavecchia. It was wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. We hope.
And if you guys, maybe you could give us some feedback if you've been to this port and what you did there. Because there are excursions. We have some friends that went on an excursion, and they went to a cheese farm, and they really loved it.
That was a private excursion,
Right,
though. That was
right,
completely
right,
separate.
right,
That was that they orchestrated. It was a custom-made one, but
But let us know.
yeah, let us know if you've been to Civitavecchia, the port of Civitavecchia, and you spent any time there. Let us know what you did. We share with you. We love for you to share with us. And we hope that we are giving you some helpful information and some tips on these ports and what to do and what it looks like and what the process is. And and all of that good stuff. So you know what to do. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps us out a lot. It's an easy, free thing for you to do. And then also an easy, free thing for you to do is, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button below this video and then turn on the notification bell. That will let you know of any new videos that we post. If you enjoyed our videos and you would like to say thanks in some small way, it's a simple, free thing for you to do, to just follow us along by hitting subscribe. We're close to 25,000 subscribers, and we would love to have you as a part of that. And as always, we appreciate your support so very much, and we hope you have a wonderful day.
Bye for now.